Radio Now 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.
Hello, I'm Emily Metheny, your host. This week, I had the opportunity to talk with 3 organizations working to support their own communities in their own way. First, I called and spoke with Kim Morton, Vice President of Development for the Johnson County Community Foundation, about the emergency fund the community is supporting and using to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. Kim, can you tell me a little bit about what the Johnson County Community Foundation does and who you serve?
Yeah, so the Johnson County Community Foundation, our tagline, which fits us perfectly, connecting people who care with causes that matter. So that's exactly what we do for the community. So we connect scholarships to our graduating seniors and youth in the community. We provide funds and resources to our nonprofit organizations. It could be government units as well, churches, those kind of things, all the things that do charitable and support those efforts in our community. Those are what we do. And then we also work, the big part where we get our money is from community and our donors. We work with those individuals to help meet their charitable needs. So a lot of times people give throughout their lifetime. And they want to continue to do that now and in the future. And so we're able to create those funds for them with their donations and then continue to do that for now and well into the future.
Excellent. And who do you serve in Johnson County?
So we serve all of Johnson County. So all areas of interest and all community members are who we work with and who we serve. Excellent.
And with everything that's happening in the world right now with COVID-19, the JCCF set up an emergency response fund. What does that do for the community?
Okay, so typically in any community, Indiana's unique that we all have community foundations. Usually when there's times of need or someone needs someone, they always look to the community foundations. They're kind of known as leaders in their communities. And so initially, we were like, we're going to get calls from our agencies. Like, these are the people that we support annually, so they're definitely going to need support during these times. So we thought it was in our best interest to go ahead and proactively start that emergency response fund and get that set up and going. So community members can donate to that. We currently have sent out a survey to our agencies here in the community, asking what they foresee their needs are going to be, what their immediate needs are, and maybe what their future needs look like. Those surveys are due back today. And then we're going to be meeting on Fridays, currently with our local United Way agency, and then we'll be partnering and collaborating with other leadership organizations in the community and helping identify those needs and responding to those needs through the Emergency Response Fund and with our agencies.
So it's not just, it's a lot of conversation. It's involving everybody who is not like a stakeholder, but a stakeholder in helping the community through this time.
Yes. So we will help kind of not be the lead organization, but help bring all those stakeholders to the table. We'll also have the funds available through the Community Foundation from resources we personally identified, collecting donations from the community and resources that we're able to identify as well. And then we'll put out an application process to our nonprofit organizations, and then they could apply to the fund.
And what are some of the causes and areas you're focusing in on right now?
So we haven't yet specifically decided what those are, but what keeps rising to the top of everything that we're hearing is child care, those immediate assistance needs, food pantries and lunches for kids with the extended school closures, those kind of things. Potentially housing could come into that as well, depending on how long this lasts.
And so it's not just one area potentially. It's going to be touching all areas in the community. So from schools to businesses to families, everyone is going to essentially benefit by having an organization kind of pull those resources and start helping everyone together, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And if someone wants to give to this fund, how can they do that?
So they can visit our website at jccf.org. And if they go to the Donate tab, the very top item is the COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund. They can click on that and then make their donation.
And does it have to be a certain amount, or is it what you can?
Anything. We'll take anything. Anything is helpful.
And if someone wants to stay up to date with what's happening when the applications are out for their nonprofit, what's the best way to do that? Or if I'm just a community member who wants to stay on top of what's happening, what can I do?
The best way to find out information about the Community Foundation is basically to follow us on our social media accounts. We have a Facebook account and we have an Instagram account. And then they can also visit our website at jccf.org.
Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the emergency funds and how all of that is going to be playing out, not just in the immediate future, but looking long term?
I think it's something that we're going to be dealing with in the next couple of weeks and probably the remainder of the year and maybe well into next year, depending on how the extended closures and everything and the recovery efforts look like. So I think it's going to be ever evolving, and so I think just continuing to follow us and look for updates.
And they can do that by going to your website or following you on social media as well.
Yep.
Perfect. Is this going to impact the normal grant cycle that you do every year, or do you think anything's going to come of that?
Yes, it is going to. As once we started seeing things unfold, our spring grant cycle was supposed to roll out here in the next week. And so we have put that on hold and then have identified those resources, and probably they'll shift probably to this emergency response efforts.
Okay.
Organizations that do need volunteers, so they can touch base with us or the local United Way, Johnson County United Way, and we can help point them in the right directions. I know the Interchurch Food Pantry is needing volunteers. If community members can't financially give, I do encourage them to, and if they're able, they can find some of the blood donation centers and give blood.
Excellent. So if you're not able to give financially, you can also support by volunteering, and people can find that on your website.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Kim.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Jennifer Pace Robinson is the Vice President of Experience Development and Family Learning at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. Jennifer talked with me about how the museum is utilizing social media to bring the exhibits and experiences to your home.
We are quite a unique institution. We are the world's largest children's museum, but here in Indianapolis, we really fill a role in that we're part history museum, part art museum for children, and part science museum. We have a collection of 130,000 objects, so much of what we do is based on the idea of letting children and families see the real thing, and we create dynamic, immersive exhibits that really let you explore different facets of the world. So you can do everything from digging up dinosaurs as a paleontologist does, to exploring an underwater shipwreck, to experimenting with different scientific principles, and then we've got some really thoughtful exhibits as well that allow you to travel to different places in the world. So we've got a spectacular exhibit about contemporary Greece right now. We're called Take Me There, Greece, where you actually feel like you go into a modern-day fishing village and you see how amazing Greek culture is. We have a very important exhibit about children in history who've had amazing impact on our lives, including Anne Frank, Ryan White, and Ruby Bridges. And that exhibit looks at issues of racism, tolerance, and understanding, and the impact that children can have to make a difference. And then we've got some particular places for our youngest visitors. We have a beautiful gallery called Playscape, where you can play in the water, pour and dump sand, play in a climber, and it really celebrates all those developmental milestones for younger children.
And with everything that's happening in the world and the governor's order to stay at home, people aren't able to go and experience these exhibits firsthand right now.
Correct. We are a high touch institution, and that's really our trademark that we've always invited families and students in, and this is just not a time that we want to put the public at risk.
And so one of the really amazing things the Children's Museum is doing is all of this online experiences.
Correct. So when we decided that we needed to temporarily close, we really got together with our group of educators and our media staff and decided how can we bring the great content and really the great people on our staff who are so enthusiastic and love working with children. How can we bring those elements to the public so that we can continue the engagement? So we've developed an initiative called Museum at Home, where we're inviting you to do science experiments with our science educators, talk with our curators to learn about curating your own collection. We've got physical fitness activities with our sports legends coaches, and so much more. We've got our preschool teachers are reading stories. We even have a great story time with longtime museum friend Andrew Luck. And so these are all ways that you can engage, get on our website. These are also pushed out through our social media channels. And they're really things that you can do to encourage interaction with your children.
And this is all incredibly amazing also in the fact that students aren't at school right now. So this is just another way to keep them engaged and learning when they're not within the traditional four walls of a school.
Exactly. So what I love is that it's a great mix of content. So there are things that can lead you to dig deeper on our website. So for each of the science experiments, and we also have these museum tours in a minute. We also have a wonderful site within our website where you can explore. So if you're going to do the museum in a minute and watch the tour of Dinosphere, we encourage you to go to our Dinosphere website and look at all the specimens that are in that space. So it's a great combination of hands-on doing. We've purposely designed the science experiments so that your children can do them over and over again, because we know that children grow in confidence as they master different skills. Mm-hmm. And my favorite part of it all is the prolonged engagement. So not only are we pushing this content out there, but we're asking our public to tell us what they think and what they've done. And we've gotten some really amazing feedback, and we've got pictures of children doing the science experiments, doing the art activities. So that engagement is really important to us because we're all a bunch of educators who really are missing our day-to-day interaction. And so hearing from everybody on our social channels has been really great for me and my staff.
And where can people find you on social media, and what is your website?
Our website is just www.childrensmuseum.org. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also Pinterest.
Excellent.
So just today we did a Facebook Live that will be also archived and available on how to make unicorn slime glitter. So it's a pretty cool one that I would encourage you to see. We'll have more talks with our curators coming up, more story times. Just yesterday we launched one of our paleo preparators, showing you how you can basically pretend that you're digging out a fossil with a chocolate chip cookie, and it is the cutest demonstration. It's so fun. So, and lots more exercise activities with our sports legends staff. So, and I have to tell you, mm-hmm. we are sharing out a morning greeting from Rex, our beloved dinosaur mascot. So he's out here giving a high five to everybody, so you'll want to check in every morning to see Rex.
That's awesome. I was actually going to ask about Rex because I saw a video of him going down the chocolate slide, actually.
Yes, he did that. Yes, he did. So we were able to film a lot of things before we closed completely, mm-hmm. And so that was special. That Rex, he loves a good slide, so we were able to get him down the chocolate slide.
And with all of these online experiences, you're making sure to cover everything across the entire museum. So you do have the Dinosphere, you have Take Me There Grease, and I think that's really amazing.
And we also have found some older footage. So, for example, our Fireworks of Glass Tower, which is our large art piece that was created by glass artist Dale Chihuly, we found the footage of when we assembled it and put that all together, which is no small feat. And so I think people are enjoying looking back at some of their favorite things and looking at how those came together as well.
Excellent. And one of the cool things that I saw when I was looking through your Facebook today was that you are providing images to use as your background for Zoom meetings?
Yes, that's a new one. So I think we've got a couple different ones, and one of them is got the dinosaurs in the background that are bursting out of the side of the building. So yes. So trying to have something for everybody.
Exactly. So even if you're not a child, but if you're a child at heart, you still have a way to interact with the Children's Museum.
Exactly.
Deb Lambert is the Director of Collection Management with the Indianapolis Public Library. And she told me all about the resources the library has online that you can access with or without your library card.
We've been spending many years building these resources, and it's like you can get to the library when we're closed at home in normal times, in the evenings, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as you have a library card, even some of our resources, you don't even need a library card. But we have a full-blown library online. And as soon as we decided to close, we started shifting funds to more of that to make sure that we had all the resources that people need. And as the demand grew, we would be more prepared.
What are some of the resources you have online that people can access with their library card?
Well, the biggest one is our ebooks and our downloadable audiobooks, which I love to use. I just always have an audiobook going as I'm driving or gardening or working out. And they're becoming more and more popular. But ebooks and e-audiobooks are the biggest, and we have them in two different places. Our Overdrive platform, it's also known through the Libby app, and then our Access 360 platform for a lot of the kids and teen books. And we've got some exciting news coming out about that, is that the Harry Potter books are going to be available on an unlimited basis, so there's no wait for those. If anybody wanted to read the Harry Potter books or go back and read them, now is the perfect time because they're freely accessible.
Excellent. And then on top of all these other resources, you also are very active on social media.
Right. Well, the social media, we're using that to engage people, to talking about what they're doing, and just having a community of readers, people who love to talk about what they're reading. But there's so much more that our social media is also advertising. The other resources that we have are online graphic novels and comics, and children's books through Tumble Books. These are for literacy, for new readers learning how to read, and these are really cool books that they use voices and animate the story, and they show a video with it, and the classic stories that kids love. But those are, kind of the downloadable things or, book-based resources that we have. We also have streaming video, and we have a whole section of Canopy Kids that offers videos for kids. Like, I believe they have, they're more of the education-based videos and stories based on videos based on stories. But then we have research things like our Ancestry.com database, which a lot of people, seen Ancestry advertised on TV or in their Facebook profiles, where people can research their family tree. Well, we have it available through the library as well, and this is available normally just in Central Library or in our library sites, but now it's available from home through our library and with your library card. We have other things like a hobbies and crafts database. For example, we have tons of knitting patterns that you can download through this database because we know a lot of people are getting into crafts at home, and we have a universal class service where you can take a class online, and even if it's not just home, hobby related, it could be beefing up your Excel skills or learning how to use a program that you've always wanted to use. And then we also have something called Morningstar, which is for the people who are brave enough to look at their investments right now and do research on their investments. That's a great way to spend your time, is figuring out how to, adjust your funds in this new market, I guess. All of this is available with your library card. A few of the things are available with no library card, but if you don't have one, it's really easy to get one. You go to our website, and we have a service where you can apply for it online, and it authenticates against your address. And that way you can get into any of these resources. You don't have to wait till the library opens again in order to get a library card.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then on our website, we've got a lot of tutorials about how to use these services and, showing how to, tie them together with each other. For example, I mentioned knitting. If you're into knitting, there's a great page that talks about all the different resources. And if you want to take a class to get the basics, you use a universal class. If you're more advanced, then you can download patterns, new patterns that you haven't tried before. So we have lots to offer online. There's even more than that.
So it's not just focused on like parents, teens, kids. It's for the entire family.
Exactly.
Everyone can find resources. So keeping crafts available for kids who are currently out of school on spring break or doing e-learning. You also have, if you're interested in finding your family tree with Ancestry, or if you just want to pick up a new skill like knitting.
Right. Or if you, you've got a problem with your car and you have time to tackle it, we have auto repair databases where you can look up your specific car. You can enter your, error codes in there to determine, it's got schematics and wiring diagrams to help you understand how your car works.
That's awesome.
It's a lot, and this is a chance for people to, find out what the library really has to offer, because people think of it when they grew up, and it's just about books. But that's not the case at all anymore.
And if someone is looking for new books to read, ebooks to read, is there any way that they can get staff recommendations?
Absolutely. Our staff are still answering phone calls and texts, so you can call the library, and there's staff members willing to help you. If you're not one that wants to talk to another person, then you can go to something called our novelist service, which gives recommendations for if you like this particular title or this particular author, here are books that are like this. So the novelist service is a great thing to use, as well as talking to our staff who would love to talk to people. And the phone number there, if I can say it, is 317-275-4184.
And can people call during, what would be normal traditional business hours, or what's the best time to call?
Normal library hours, which would be 9 a.m. until 7 or 8 p.m. We have a whole team of people waiting to answer. Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays we're closed more like 5 and 6 o'clock.
Excellent.
I wanted to say that if you don't have a comfort level with your device that you would use these resources on, we have something called the Tinker Station, which are staff that are particularly trained and knowledgeable in the various services and devices. And you can call them, and they can help with a lot of these services, too, and spend more time with you walking through step by step.
So even though the library is not physically open, most of the services are still available online and by phone?
Yes, that's correct.
Excellent. And the website people can go to start accessing these services is indypl.org, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Yep.
And over on the far right is something that says blog, and that's a great place to start. It's got articles on what things we're offering while we're closed and online.
Excellent. And then on social media as well, you have video read-alongs that you've been sharing on different blogs, and even on Pinterest, you have boards that explain different activities for different levels as well, right?
Right. We have something, a Pinterest board called Activities to Do at Home, especially a lot of stuff for kids and doing home activities of how to do different science projects or different crafts or things like that.
So you can connect with the Indianapolis Public Library by going online to indypl.org or visiting them on all social platforms. What platforms are you on?
All social platforms, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook. Did I miss any? It's a different team that's on the social media team, and they are very active. Instagram and YouTube are the other two that we're on. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest.
Excellent. And you can still call and see some of these services. Can you give that number again, Deb?
Sure. It's 317-275-4184. That's for general, answering questions and doing research. If you're, doing research topic that can help you, point you to specific ebooks or resources, our research page of databases. And then if you want specifically help with a device and learning how to use your device, that's the Tinker hotline, and that's 317-275-4500.
If you want to reach out or if you have topics you'd like me to cover, you can reach me at Metheny, that's EMETHENY, at radio-1.com. Thank you for listening, and please join me again next week. Until then, have a great week.
Radio Now 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.